right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is, what is it? February 13th. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Don't forget, fellas. Yeah, so good morning, guys. About 7:10, we got CPI today. 8:30. It's going to take a quick look, just a quick 4-hour sweep, take our objective, non-biased look at the market. What do we have? What's going on? What are we looking for? What's above us? What's below us? What should we expect moving on through the rest of the week? It's a little quick 4-hour sweep. We'll try to run through it quickly. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Buckhorn, good game. We're up. It's not dead. It is a higher high though, so we want to be cautious with that, obviously. Let me flip back over here for just a second. I know we're in the wicks on the daily, just for what it's worth, just really quickly. And I know this is not the strongest level here, but we are kind of we're in the mess here on the daily chart. You want to be cautious here. This is the last place where your sellers have been correct and the market has held. This is untested sellers at this point, back from way back in the day, December of 21. Not that really matters a whole lot, but as far as a reference to the left, people are going to see that and people are going to use that as a reference. We won't get into that conversation right now. But I could understand how we could pop up a little bit. Let me see here. Back to our 4-hour. Just see what's going on. I would expect there's buy side liquidity above this. I would expect this to pop up. There's a big range consolidation right here. I would expect it to come up here and test the pool of buy side above that. So, we'll expect for this to break, but we'll watch it the way that it is. We just know that we're entering the danger zone here. We kind of got a gap between these two consolidations. In general, what we like to look for is the money above that consolidation right there on Bitcoin. This is kind of important right here. Once we tap above that, that's really where I would really start paying attention. I'm going to be very cautious here. Actually leave that for reference. I want to be just careful. And the reason I say that is we are on a higher high. Is this a good place to buy long-term? Probably not. Is it likely to be lower than this at some point? Probably. But, we'll see. We're running up to the halving. It depends on what your strategy is. Are you day trading it? Are you swing trading it over long periods of time, like weeks or months? What are you looking for here? We're waiting for this halving date. There's not really much to do at the moment because it is on a higher high. I'm not going to start buying into it on a higher high. It's just not good trading to do that. It's just not smart. Not good risk management. You want to always give yourself an advantage. And if you're buying something like Bitcoin for a hold, you want to buy it on a lower low and not a higher high. It's the opposite of what you want to do right now, but good game. Good game, Buckhorn. It's up. Let's go. It has survived now. We'll probably end up talking about this again in a second, but really quickly, just to finish up on Bitcoin, just remember that we know this to be true, that there's a very tight fundamental positive correlation with the U.S. stock market indices. And we're up on all-time highs right now, about to get wrecked on the stock market indices. Don't forget that with large cap crypto, guys. All I'm saying, I'm not saying it's a short. I'm saying that we're up on a massive higher high on Bitcoin. And we know that there's a positive correlation with the U.S. stock market indices. And these things are burnt toast, guys. They're burnt toast right now. This needs to have a healthy pullback here. We're talking about like a 10% haircut minimum. I would surmise. Ancient astronaut theorists surmise. Is that what he says? What's that dude's name with the crazy hair? Speaking of ancient astronauts, the people who are up here buying this must be astronauts. I don't know. This is crazy. Just remember this, going back to large cap crypto, and we'll come back to the stock market indices in a minute. Just remember that it's traded in line with U.S. equities, and U.S. equities are burnt toast right now. So we want to be cautious. Caution is the word of the day, the word of the month for Bitcoin. But good game that it's up. We're going to watch this level up here. I don't know. It may poke through it. We're watching right now. Moving on. Dollar index. We did everything we needed to do here. We've been all over this. It's just very low volatility right now. It's been super tight, not much to do. We're down a little bit. I would maybe pick it up off the range low later. I'm not going to mess with it right here. It's not a good short down here. After it's already come down a little bit, kind of almost back to this range low. It's not really a good short, but it's not a good long yet either. I don't know. We'll watch this and see. Maybe we'll adjust our levels here just in its simplest form, just looking to see what's going on. Where are we entering some level that's, we need to watch here in the market cycle? Nothing really to do right this second. Dollar may be out of the question here. We got CPI coming soon, so I'm sure that this is going to move. There'll be something here. Got a volatility event coming here in about an hour and 15 minutes. So if this slams down, we'll see what's up with it. If it breaks the low, maybe we'll pick it up. If it slams up, we'll figure it out. We already got an alert up here ready. I want to know when it gets back up to here to the top of that range. We'll come back to it. The dollar's not really in a good spot right now. Super tight consolidation. It's over the last couple days. We're right in the middle of it. It's very neutral right now. It's not a good place to mess with it. Next, yen. We'll come back with it. We'll come back to the dollar after CPI. I bet it'll move on CPI. This is painful, guys, on this yen. Broke the low again. It's never going to be a short down here. It's even working on an inside bar again right here. Like you can see the Harami. It's working on a Harami right now. Still got an hour and 42 minutes, but it's never going to be a short down here at the all-time low, basically. If you zoom out and look at this, we're basically down on the low. It's never going on the all-time low, by the way, on the yen index. It's never going to be a short, unless it's like a scalp or something. But this is really, it's trying to hold. There's not really much to say. It's on a lower low. I don't even want to say it really, but it's just, we're watching for the lows down here. Every time this makes a low, or if this closes a higher low, inside bar here, this Harami, that would suggest, some kind of a run back up. That's what it would suggest. And it's coming off the low. We're going to watch it. Try to be cautious with our sizing, at least with our risk management on that. What that was, that didn't work out. Probably taken that 3 more times since then. Euro yen, moving on. With the yen, knowing that the yen is down there on the low, we're watching this. We know what we're looking for. We're looking for shorts on this. When the yen starts to move, whatever it's going to do, we're looking for whatever that's going to be. And we'll catch it on the way down, just in its simplest form. There's some things that we're watching. Next. Nothing to do until that yen starts to behave. Aussie dollar, we know that the dollar is in a very tight range. We'll try to move through this quickly. We got some levels that we're watching. This was a good long, just to the pip, just right to the point. Nailed that the other day. Already closed it, but actually going to watch this. Once the dollar makes sense, this will probably be a part of the basket. This is invalidated at this point. Kind of adjust our charts here from yesterday. Whatever. Not much to do. I mean, there's, some adjustments we could make just very simply for supply levels, but, we'll watch this. It's just, if it would pull back a little bit, we'll try to time it with the dollar. There's not much to say there. Euro dollar, same thing. We know what we're waiting for here. We're waiting for it to come down. Still hasn't broken that low yet. Money trade here. Kingmaker coming on euro dollar, but we got to let this break the low first. Got to be patient. Got to be patient on this. Waiting for that first retest of those untested buyers. Just very easy situation to easy call here. Kingmaker. You could probably get a 1 to 5 out of this reasonably. If that holds, it's going to be money. Waiting for that dollar to come down a little bit. But what's likely to happen here is, you got this kind of thing like this. If I could draw a straight line, you got this kind of crap. And eventually this is going to make a lower high and spill. And when that happens, we'll be looking for something like that. We'll try to pick it up down there. It would be a better risk to do that. And we know that this is going to be a good trade coming. So we're waiting for that. Nothing to do right this second. It's in a range. Right, got some adjustments to make here. Euro pound, kind of not messing with this. I don't trade this really. It's so low volatility. It moves like 30 pips in a day. An entire day's range is like 30 pips. It's ridiculous. I just don't trade it, but I use it it's got a 30 pip daily range. I use it to try to figure out whether we're going to risk capital on the euro or the pound and which direction they're likely to go. Use it more like an indicator, honestly, a directional indicator, but to determine whether or not I'm going to risk capital on the euro or the pound, either long or short. I don't really trade the pair itself, but sometimes if the setup is there, I'll trade it. And I do always preach trade the setup and not the pair. I've learned from experience that that's the right answer. Trade the setup and not the pair. Major key. Nothing to say here. Big nasty candle. This looks like it's going to start to stabilize and it might even pull back up. Nothing there. It's on a lower low. Skip it. Euro CAD. Still down here. We keep catching this thing. We keep catching it on the bottom and we're waiting for it down here, watching to see what's going to happen. It's been weeks down here. Nothing to do. There's really nothing to do. I'm waiting for it to either go lower or shift off of the low down here and then take the pullbacks. It's just been stuck for weeks. Very low volatility, very small bodied candles, choppy, messy garbage. Nothing really to do. The aggressive trade is long. We'll watch it. Euro Kiwi, we keep catching this one too. This was good off the low. Had a basket on this the other day. I think it was Euro CAD, Euro Kiwi, and Euro Aussie. I think Euro Kiwi and Euro Aussie went. Euro CAD didn't go anywhere. But 2 out of 3 went. Got it off the low, lifted up off the low. Nothing to do here. Potential lower high. I would wait for this to pull back. I think it's going to go higher. But in the macro structure of things, it's not bad. It's just right in the middle right now. And we talk about not trading from a neutral point. We're just right in between supply and demand, and we're right dead smack in the middle. And that's not a good place to trade from. It's too neutral. Forget it. There's no advantage, positional advantage we talk about in the group. Always give yourself a positional advantage. And there is no positional advantage from a neutral point. You have an equal opportunity to get stopped out both ways. That's not leverage. That's not an advantage. There's no edge. That can be adjusted. Take that out. And same thing here. We're very neutral between your swings, swing high, swing low, or right in the middle. Just right dead smack in the middle. It's too neutral right here. There's nothing to do. It could go that way. It could go that way. Equally. There's no positional advantage. We'll just wait until there is. It's that simple. Super easy. Pound dollar. Not much to do here. The dollar's been very slow. I think the pound has picked up is what this is. I saw euro pound was down a lot. So it looks like pound strength is what that is. Yeah, the pound is the strongest currency today. Super flat, man. It's really boring right now. Everything's dead. Just looking at the strength tool real quick. Everything is just super flat right now. But yeah, the pound is the strongest currency this morning. So that makes sense. It's strong, but not trending stronger. Strong, but not moving stronger, if that makes sense. It's up and flat, but stronger. It has been stronger over the last few hours. So, and this makes sense, and that makes sense why euro pound is down. It had a big red candle on euro pound because the pound strength came in relative to the euro. But back to this, not really much to do here, just right in the middle. I haven't been a fan of this for a while. We haven't really been trading this much. It's been super choppy. The dollar has been very flat and low volatility, and the US dollar has really slowed this stuff down. We've been in a really low volatility environment lately, and we are absolutely crushing this market, crushing it. Unbelievable record lately in trading. Some of the best trading I've ever done in my life over the last couple months. Honestly, like we have just consistently just been on fire. I honestly don't remember the last time we had a losing day. It wasn't this year. Put it that way. And that's the true statement. Crazy. Like we just don't miss. Nuts. We've just been crushing it in the group. So as far as the analysis and just being on point, understanding the market, like honestly, some of the best trading ever. It's good. It's been really good lately. And that's crazy because that's part of the point is it's been such a low volatility environment. Like it's been so choppy and we're just on it. We've done really well in the stock market indices and gold lately. It's part of it. The indices, we've just been on it. But yeah, the dollar itself has been really slow. Yeah, pound CAD, good run there. Obviously, banger, hundreds of pips on that. Not much to do here on pound CAD. Kind of get back on track. It's a big range, nothing to do. We're at the top of it. There's a case to be made here that, there was a cycle high. Sometimes a cycle high will look like that and it'll step down and then honestly, like there's a possibility it steps down again. Depends on the big macro cycle. Where are we? Yeah, we're up. I don't know. We'll watch it. Not really much to do right now. It's good that it's been up, but we're about to run into some supply with a potential range high up here. I wouldn't really want to be long right here. We'll skip that one. This broke the high. Invalid there, which is fine. We had a higher high on pound yen. I mean, we've been watching this yen. We know what we're looking for here. Higher high. Unbelievable. Let me look at this again. Hold on. The yen index. Yeah. It's just the yen is down on the low. The yen is just in free fall. It's collapsed. The Japanese yen has collapsed, basically. I think their markets are at an all-time high too. The Nikkei. Which is understandable. And that dynamic is going to shift. And when it does, this is going to be a rocket ship. It just hasn't happened yet. But back to pound yen. 1 second. Take a sip of my coffee. Voice getting liquidated there for a minute. Pound yen, higher high. We know what to do. We're looking for the high of the week, high of the day. I don't know. We're going to have to watch this one. We'll just might as well mark that for the group later to mark that and watch it. Pound Aussie. Like I said, the pound was the strongest currency this morning. Like it slowed down a little bit, but same here. I mean, range high, there's a case to be made that look, this is a range, sellers on the top, buyers on the bottom. Do you want to buy the top or do you want to sell the top? You got to pick one in trading. You got to decide what team you're on. Are you on team smart money or are you on team dumb money? Pick one. You have to pick one. Are you a lion or a gazelle? Are you a shark or are you a little fishy? Are you a winner or a loser over time? You got to decide in trading. You got to pick a team. What I'm not going to do is buy this right now. It's that simple. We'll come back to that one. We'll watch it. Invalid. There. Moving on. Pound Kiwi. Lower highs, lower lows. Price action wise. But we're on the high now. If you look at this just simply in its simplest form like that, lower highs, lower lows, just to illustrate it. Not that the trend lines mean anything. They actually don't mean anything. Man, we'll have to look at this on the range tool and see what the potential is for the weekly high, but it's not something I would want to be buying into right now because there is that potential for a lower high here soon, so whatever, we'll come back to this. We could probably adjust our charts here a little bit. Probably need to do that. You got two zones right here that would watch, just simple supply and demand stuff. No secret strategy right here yet. Where's there likely to be a reaction? And we'll figure it out with the range tool. We'll look at it on lower time frames and figure it out. Yeah. Not much to do there. You can see, we're pretty neutral between our supply and demand in our effective trading range. We've got supply up here. We've got demand here, previously untested from this level. And we're just like kind of right in the middle. It's neutral, very neutral point here. Not a good place to make an entry. Skip it, but at least we're aware of what's going on. Next, CAD yen. We know this is high. Crazy high. We know that there's opportunity up here for a short. We know it's here. We're just waiting for the yen to make sense. You got this kind of stuff. I don't really do the traditional charting thing, but you see what I'm saying. You want to be very cautious being long here because you're probably going to get something like that. It's probably going to pull back into some kind of a range like this at some point and all the way back down to here very soon. We're waiting for the yen to lift up off the low. It's just not going to be a long from here. I don't think it's really ever going to be a long from this level. This is probably our effective trading range right now where we are, the range that we're likely to be in. I would let this candle close and maybe fade into it to try to go lower, but it's a maybe. We're waiting for the yen to make sense though. Right now it's been frustrating. But every time it puts in a low, every time the yen as a currency index puts in a lower low, it's time to watch for a lift up off the low. We keep catching it and we get the trade and then it comes back and breaks the low. And then we catch it and we get the trade, but then it comes back and breaks the low. And every time that yen index breaks that low, we got a new low now. We keep catching it. We keep catching it down here and getting the trade. But now that it's broken the low, it's just time to watch it again. We'll have to look back here to the left and figure it out and watch it. We'll have to watch the currency index itself. But it's, if these candles start closing higher lows, coming off of a lower low, we know that there's likely to be a stronger yen coming. We don't want to be long on something like CAD yen, up here on the top on a big higher high. We don't want to be long up here. No way. Swiss yen. I think we had a new all-time high the other day on this. That this thing just keeps pushing the all-time high. We're up on the ATH here on this one. In a range, very clear range consolidation right here. You can see what's going on. You can see that we definitely don't want to short it. I think that's obvious. Just got a whole bunch of levels that we're watching on the way down, but there's likely to be a reaction. We're ready for all of this. Like we've been ready. We're just waiting for levels to hit. We're waiting to take some actionable decisions when they get there. We're just waiting. At this point, that can probably be adjusted to the water line there. Yeah. Nothing really to do down here. We're closer to the low of this big consolidation. It's not a short. I would wait for the yen. We're going to wait for the yen and watch. Moving on. We're going to blow through it today. See if we can do it quickly. Dollar CAD. Pretty neutral here. Just very simply, local swing high here, local swing low here. We're right smack in the middle, right dead neutral. We were waiting for this untested supply up here to hit. It still hasn't hit. The dollar's been very low volatility and flat, but as far as giving yourself that positional advantage that we talk about, where you have a higher probability of going up than down, or a higher probability of going down than up. There is no advantage from a neutral point. It's a coin flip. You got a 50-50 shot. So probably not going to make much of a decision right here. We're going to wait for CPI today. Hopefully we get that volatility coming in and it'll move to one direction or the other, and then we'll be able to make a more informed decision with better information. But right now, super flat, right dead smack in the middle, no trade. Next, S&P. Should have taken this yesterday. We had the level right. Nailed it. Right on the hash. Just should have taken the short. Just didn't take it. We had it long. It was long NASDAQ yesterday, and that was right. It went up, and I think it took some profit, and then it came back and hit break even. So whatever. Should have taken the short on the high. But right now, I mean, when is the party over here, ladies and gentlemen? We know the party's coming to an end. We all know it. Nobody wants to admit it, but we all know it. It's just not here yet. When does this start making lower highs and pull back, and we get that 10% haircut that we all know is coming? When it's coming. Probably even more than that. That's only 5%. Maybe back to that previous high, that would be about 10. We know it's going to happen. The saying, as funny as it is, it's true. Markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, and that's kind of what's going on here. We got an AI bubble. It's clear. We have a speculative investment, irrational exuberance issue here in the market. We've got no fear in the market, and that's dangerous. When people aren't scared, it's dangerous. Fear is what it is for a reason. Fear is designed to keep you alive. Think about what I'm saying there for a second. What is fear as far as the human brain or the animal brain? Fear is designed to keep you alive. Say, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do that, because if I do, I might die. Maybe I should be scared of this. Maybe I should learn from something that's happened in the past. And when there's no fear, you have a high risk of death. And that's what's going on right now in the stock market. That's my analysis on the stock market. Is there's not enough fear in the market, and that's dangerous. There's no fear of buying the top. People keep buying the top, and they'll win for a couple of weeks. You win for a couple of weeks buying the top, and then all of a sudden you fall off the cliff. You keep climbing that tree, and you keep climbing that tree, and you keep climbing. Then all of a sudden it gets a little thin up there, and the branch breaks, and you fall all the way down because you had no fear of heights. We have that fear of heights to keep us alive. Good analogy. Careful. Just be careful up here, and how that translates into other markets as well, and especially large cap crypto. Just be cautious, guys. The caution is the word of the week. We've already got this rollover here on the stock market indices. It's starting to show some signs of profit taking. And a lot of times what will happen is there'll be some distribution up here. It'll try to distribute up here. It'll try it again. And what we're looking for is that transition where it goes from higher highs, all of a sudden into a range, and then lower highs. It transitions from higher highs to a range to lower highs. And that's where we start to catch those big monsters on the way back down. We're going to watch the price action up here and see what we can do with it. But right now it's already down. Good game. Yesterday was the short. I didn't take it. Should have, because we sat here and waited and talked about it all day yesterday. We called the price action, and it's exactly what happened. And I just didn't click the button. So not going to take a victory lap if I didn't click the button. But we got it. We got the analysis right, but just didn't trade it. But now that we've got the move, now that we can see what's going on. So we've got clarity, at least. Still at 5,000. Still S&P 5,000 after coming down. Good game. We were here to see it. We were here to see S&P 5,000. Right now, this is a very weak level. Some of the stuff is lower time frames, and we're just watching to see what's going to happen when it's down there. It's no big super secret anything. Probably wouldn't do anything on this right now. You don't want to sell it because it's already been down for 20 hours or whatever. We'll watch and see what's going to happen. We got CPI, expect volatility. It could fly back the other way, and if it does, maybe might try to catch a rejection on a lower high or something like that. Maybe the Dow Jones didn't come down nearly as much as the S&P and the NASDAQ yesterday. We were just talking about that on group side a few minutes ago. This is still up. Like if you look at the weekly chart and the daily chart, you'll see it a little better. This still looks like the more attractive short option because of where it is currently. But it's just not quite a short yet. I'm going to wait and see if it'll spike up a little bit. I'm going to watch this though. I mean, I could, probably need to adjust these charts. There's probably just so many other levels down here on the way down now. That's changed since last time I messed with it, but I'm not going to spend time doing that right now. We're going to watch this and see what happens. It's off the high, but it looks like it's kind of trying to go into a range, which means it might try to like retest higher. And we got CPI. We have an unknown volatility event coming here in a few minutes. So not going to make a decision on it yet. NASDAQ, I mean, the ultra aggressive play here would be to look for the next candle to be bullish. It's already down quite a bit, back into clearly an inflection point here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if assuming this candle closes something like this within the next hour and 17 minutes, if we close somewhere like this at the waterline, there's a reasonable expectation that next candle is going to be bullish, and that may be a day trade. This is a 4-hour candle. There may be a day trade bounce, back up to something like this, on lower time frames. It might make a little more sense, and we'll check it within the range. We'll watch, obviously center mash right here. This is going to be something that we're going to watch. We'll look at this group side. But a retest up to here, that's reasonable. That's not crazy. So we'll watch and see if this still makes sense here in about an hour. After CPI, we'll see what's up with it. Just remember that it's just high. Like we want to be cautious buying up here, and you got to obey your stop. Look at where we are. When this thing goes, it might not stop for a while. So you don't want to really try to catch a falling knife here when we're this high. This is obviously ridiculous. So we don't want to start trying to catch a falling knife on the top, trying to buy into this market, hoping that it's going to go higher again, retest the high. If you would obey your stop on that, it's either going to go or not. We'll watch and see. We really want to be short, to be honest. We want to be short from a higher high or some rejection point. And we'll look at that group side. We're going to catch it. We're going to catch it. I promise. We just, same here. Just keep oil, just money. We had a good long scalp yesterday on oil, back up to supply. That was right. Good game on that. I think we had this big bullish candle and it pulled back and was like, yep, that's it. Looking to rip it up, pull the slingshot back to go just a little bit higher. It was a good day trade. But the overall long is right. Like we were right in a big way on this. Just keep getting in long on oil. We had this right and it's still going. It's just been very slow. This is something that's been super slow over the last few weeks. It's just kind of collared in this low 70s range. We're just overall just kind of stuck in this range, but it's going. It's going. Every time we make it down on the low, trying it again, and we're looking for it to step up to the next range higher, basically within the cycle, looking to go a little higher with it. I think it's going to end up higher. We got a lot of geopolitical events that could mess with this. We got stuff with BRICS going on. We have multiple fronts in the Middle East, kind of war wise going on. There's a lot of stuff going on here lately. I mean, whatever, we're not going to get into all of it, but I think everybody knows there's plenty of mess going on in the Middle East, and that can upset the balance here. And then you got BRICS and that kind of stuff on top of it. Saudi Arabia is officially joined now at this point, which could change potentially the mechanism of transfer there of wealth, between that could take some dominance away from the U.S. dollar, and we need to pay attention to those kind of things. That stuff doesn't help us with day trades. We don't really focus on fundamentals much. It's good to understand it. It's good to pay attention to it and have your finger on the pulse of the world and the global financial system and the markets, but that's not going to help us catch a 100 pip day trade. Sorry, it just doesn't. I've argued this for years, and I'm not going to get into it. Being a fundamental expert and understanding, reading these abstract financial reports from, Germany, that's not going to help you catch 50 pips on a day trade today. Be honest. It just doesn't. So we focus on other things that do help us consistently catch pips. It's just the truth. It's good to understand it, though. It's good to understand the stuff. It's just my personal opinion on it. I've always held that opinion. I still hold that opinion. Being an expert on fundamentals is not going to catch you a day trade. Be honest. Oil, good game on this, as far as what we're looking for. I don't know, man. Back up to supply. This could probably be adjusted. I like to see these highs break, to be honest. We got higher lows here. It would be normal for something like that little swing high to break and kind of be up here. There's a structural spot up here. You can kind of see where there is some structure, an inflection point, what I call a structural inflection point, where something changed. A lot of times it'll barely get above these kind of levels like that and just kind of tap up here, sell side liquidity above these consolidations like that. There's generally going to be money here. And I like to watch those levels personally, but we're not quite there yet. It would be good to still be long, and you would probably take some profit once we break that swing high. It's not a short yet, in my opinion. We'll look at it on lower time frames. Good game, oil. There's nothing really to do. It was a scalp long yesterday. It's a little dangerous right now. Kind of no trade, probably. It's a little early to get in the short, in my opinion. It may be a little risky, but it's obviously already moved a little bit far for the long. Good game, though. Gold. We've been watching this one all over this. We had a really, really good trade on this yesterday. Money. We're at least a 1 to 3 at this point on that. I closed mine actually a few minutes ago, right before we started this stream. The analysis. I closed my long here, just to take the money, and I'm flat, and I'm going to wait and see if it's going to pull back. Could have been a little bit early, but that's all right. We got the first level right. There were 2 trades here. We were looking for this first one. We were completely right about that. Untested buyers after it broke the swing low, nailed it. We're looking to just run it back up. We'll look and see where the range high is, and if that makes sense with our supply at the same time. We'll check that on the range tool here in just a little bit. Right now, good game, gold. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with the dollar. If the dollar's weak, this will continue up, but we're going to run into traffic here very soon. Right here to the left. It's a reasonable place to take some profit and just wait and see if it pulls back. It may come back to something like that and hold. We'll have to watch this. There's going to be layers here that we need to pay attention to. It's a range, and the guess was that it was going to come up off the low of the range, and it has, which is good. We had 2 places that we were willing to take it. The first one was correct. So I think, there's even still a chance that, this runs up here, stops, comes back, and breaks the low one more time, and then tries again. Maybe not that high, but runs back up to retest the high. We'll see. If it does that, I would be okay with that. Comes back and taps that's untested. I'd be cool with that. We'll catch it as many times as it wants to go. But right now, it's lifting back up to what's a perceived range high up here. And I think eventually it's going to come down. I mean, if you look at where this is and what's going on, eventually it probably is going to pull back a little bit. We're just talking about this week right now. What's going on right now? I think we got 40 minutes. Let me triple check. Yeah, 8:30. 40 minutes to CPI. We just want to go through everything, make sure we understand what we're looking at, what we're waiting for, adjust our charts, make sure that everything is still on track. Probably adjust that to right there for now. That's probably close for now, for today. I bet that's going to pop up there and reject somewhere. This is the first place where your sellers were correct and have not been stopped out at break even yet. Price has not returned to that level. Major key. Throwing you guys a bone here on YouTube. We're going to watch this. We'll watch that. We'll look for, I want to pick it up lower if possible. There may be a day trade short here. We'll see what happens on CPI. It's probably going to sling it around. There'll probably be a big whipsaw on CPI. That's typical. So what's the Cliff's Notes here? Like what's the overall prognosis of the market, Doc? What are we looking for? What's going to happen? I don't know. Large cap crypto, pay close attention to the US equities market. Be aware of the dynamic between the US equities market and large cap crypto and be cautious. The word is caution right now. Good game, but caution. The dollar's super, light on volatility right now. This will probably change today. We'll get a spike here one way or the other. And we'll make a decision. We'll react to it. We'll respond to whichever direction it goes here on CPI. There's not really much to say here. We'll probably watch gold with that too. The yen, I hate it, but it's on a lower low. Again, nothing to do. It's working on an inside bar here. We'll wait and see how this closes. Gonna wait and watch it close. And if this closes a harami, we'll be looking for any dips. There's not really much to do here. This is down, way down on a low. Pretty much back to the all-time low on a lower low. The higher probability is a counter trend retracement back up. I'm not sure that it's there yet. With this kind of price action, let's wait and see how this candle closes. We're watching the yen. We're watching the yen as an index for sure. Euro yen. If that yen does dip a little bit more, I could see something like this, and then that would make sense. We're watching it. We'll watch the yen. Stuff's in the middle. Euro dollar. There's a big trade coming here. I'm throwing you guys a bone. There's a winning trade coming on euro dollar. This is just money murder. It's just not there yet. Don't miss this, guys, when this gets there. This is Kingmaker right here. When this breaks that low, extremely high probability of a bounce. And we'll make sure that still makes sense with the dollar. Euro CAD's holding weeks down here. It's just weeks grinding. Very low volatility. It hasn't shifted up off the low yet. There's a lot of room for it to go up. I don't want to be short, but it hasn't lifted yet. Euro Kiwi, nothing there. What were the big things? Pound dollar or whatever, nothing there yet. No trade. The yen stuff, obviously we're watching. Pound yen is just a multi-year high up here. This is obviously going to be a short. We'll watch and see, lower time frames. Where are we? Just quickly, let me flip over here to our cheat codes. We're not quite not quite up on the daily highs yet. But once we get up to there, you're basically selling a multi-year high. It's not that bad of an idea. I would say if we end up running back up into here somewhere, you'd be looking to see what we can do, and we'll see if that still makes sense with the yen being down on that low. I'd like to see the yen start to stabilize first, but up here, we know it's not a bad idea. So we'll see. Pound yen's a possibility. I got it marked because where it is. Pound yen is a huge opportunity. Nothing really here yet. Skip that. It may be a shortcoming, but not yet. Pound Kiwi, same thing. We're just right in the middle. We're not where we want to be yet. CAD yen is going to be a yen basket pair. They're all going to be very high. Anything against the yen is going to be way up, super high, and we're watching for shorts. Swiss yen is going to be the same situation. Dollar CAD, no trade. It's right in the middle. It's just no trade right this second. And we'll see what happens with CPI. If it starts to line up something, maybe. Big focal point here probably this week is going to be the stock market indices. It's ridiculous. They're burnt toast. They're way up. Not much to do up here, but watch for shorts. Should have taken it yesterday. Kicking myself for that because we had it right and we sat here and waited and watched for a short. The call was short, was up until we get to a rejection point, and then we wanted to flip it short and took the long and got it right and ended up not flipping it short, which is okay. Was waiting for just a little bit more that didn't come. But now that we got the sell off, now we got some information to work with. So we're gonna watch this one group side, and we're gonna catch these trades on the indices. The Dow Jones, same thing. We're gonna wait for the spike up. Hope we get it. NASDAQ is a little cleaner price action wise. We got an hour for this 4-hour candle to close. Would probably expect that there's going to be a bullish candle coming. And that's an easy day trade if that happens. We're going to watch that. We're going to catch that one today, probably group side. Oil, no trade. Good game. Oil's up. The longs have been right. We're just kind of back into this supply. Like I said, I would probably wait and see if this swing high breaks right here. Because we did make a higher low. It would be reasonable to expect a higher high as well after a higher low. So we'll wait for that. We know we got some buy side liquidity up here above this consolidation high. So probably higher on oil, and we'll just assume that our original run's going to continue. It's just not a good long here. We don't want to buy into supply. It's just never going to be a good idea. That's like amateur hour stuff. We don't want to do that. Gold. Good game. The long was yesterday. We had one of two levels that we were watching. The first one was correct. Say I already closed mine and took the profit a few minutes ago. I'm going to wait for it to pull back and see what happens. And if it does pull back and wants to hold, I might buy back in down here where your buyers were and see if we can get a bounce. And if it makes it down to here, that's the better level anyway. Buy back in the low of the range, look to run it up, possibly even all the way up. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. We got CPI. We got some uncertainty because of CPI. The reality of gold as far as the macro structure, we're right dead smack in the middle, guys. We're pretty neutral. We had an advantage in our positioning by buying the low of the range, but now that we're kind of back to the middle, we have much less of a positional advantage to enter here in the center. It's just probably not a trade right now. I think there's going to be a short scalp coming, but that's just a personal thing. Like lower time frames, like 5-minute, 15-minute chart kind of thing. We're just not there yet. We'll come back to that. But good game gold. It's lifting up. We want to try to get back in long if we can, probably from lower, and see what happens with CPI. So what are we really looking for here? Watching the stock market indices. Dollar's not in a good spot. Not much information yet. Basically, going into CPI. I think the NASDAQ is the cleanest price action as far as day trade is concerned. And I think we're going to flip over and start watching this right now, guys. Everybody have a good trading day today. Caution with crypto, caution with the U.S. equities. Let's wait and see what happens with this price action first after CPI. Let's see which direction we get, and we'll react to it. Anyway, we will check back in probably at the end of the week. Let me post this for people to see later. Everybody have a good trading week and good game.